individuality in style and piquancy in her interpretations. So reported the New York Journal-American. A Dr. B.B. James, publication unattributed, confirmed that a recent audience in the federal capital included persons in the political, cultural, and intellectual society of Washington, all of them critically minded hearers. The New York Daily Mirror hailed a personage of authority and indescribable charm, whose annual recitals bring unbounded joy. These notices were in accordance with more or less everything that had ever been written about Lady Florence, another of her preferred modes of address. She had been singing to select audiences since the 1910s, mostly in the protected world of the women's clubs, which flourished in great profusion in New York City from the turn of the century. In 1917, she founded her own society and called it the Verdi Club, to whose members she later began singing in an annual recital in the ballroom of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. Press coverage was not solicited other than from the Musical Courier, a trade paper whose friendly discretion could be relied upon. Indeed, bought. The recitals acquired a cult following, and apart from the odd exuberant heckler, for years no one publicly said the salient and obvious thing about Florence Foster Jenkins, that she was a remarkably talentless singer. Instead, they cheered and clapped and stifled their guffaws by stuffing handkerchiefs in their mouths. In 1941, those recordings introduced her feeble voice and drastic pitching to a wider public, and word started to travel. Then came Carnegie Hall. Supported by a pianist, a flautist, and a string quartet, she proceeded to massacre a variety of tunes in a variety of preposterous costumes. The 3,000 who crammed Carnegie Hall as it had never been crammed before raised such a commotion that her accompanist, Cosme Macmillan, judged the recital the most remarkable thing that has happened there. Her assault on the famous aria from the Magic Flute had all the trappings of a brilliant comedic tour de force as she persistently failed to reach the stipulated notes. But it wasn't meant to be funny, any more than her rendition of Clavelitos, a short, flirtatious song in the Hispanic idiom which pushed the audience to fresh peaks of hysteria. As Florence lobbed rosebuds into the audience from a basket on her arm, one uncontrollable actress had to be removed from her box. In such a frenzied atmosphere, it is hard to imagine anyone creating enough of a disturbance to warrant ejection, and yet apparently it happened. The instant demand for an encore meant that poor Macmillan had to make his way down into the stalls to retrieve the flowers. The pleasure, and the pain, was even more intense the second time round, and throughout the evening Madame Jenkins interpreted the gales of laughter and waves of applause as a genuine acknowledgment of her art. Afterwards, her guests mingled with her on stage. "Don't you think I had real courage to sing the Queen of the Night again?" she said to one of them, "after that wonderful recording I made of it at the studio." The next morning, news spread far across the United States. Madame Jenkins, if you hadn't heard, and the chances are you haven't, is a lady who gives song recitals because there's no law against it. That was the Milwaukee Journal. She takes the songs that bring out the best in Lily Pons and permits them to bring out her worst. And the worst of Madame Jenkins, you are herewith assured, is something awful. Earl Wilson of the New York Post reported that Florence Foster Jenkins could sing anything but notes. "Hey, you music lovers," ran the headline above his report, "I heard Madame Jenkins." Describing her recital as one of the weirdest mass jokes New York has ever seen, his column, he was not a music journalist, pondered the discrepancy.